She adopted a dog and found the local vet impossible to resist. Lucy didn't mean to adopt a dog that day. She meant to buy dish soap. The grocery store was across the parking lot from the Maple Ridge Animal Shelter, and she had a list on her phone and exactly 40 minutes before the afternoon Zoom meeting with her new remote job. But the shelter had set up an outdoor adoption event. All bright banners and folding tables and a chorus of hopeful barks echoing across the asphalt. Lucy tried to keep walking. She made it exactly 3 steps. A golden blur hit the end of a leash, paws skidding, tongue lolling. He looked like someone had taken sunshine and turned it into fur. Soft caramel coat, creamy chest, feathery tail waving hard enough to power a small windmill. "Careful, Sonny," laughed the volunteer holding the leash. "You're going to drag me into traffic." Sonny. Lucy's chest did a weird little ache at the name. Her life hadn't felt particularly sunny lately. Moving back to her dead grandmother's tiny town, leaving Atlanta, breaking up with her girlfriend of 4 years over a fight that had really been about everything and nothing at all. Her apartment still smelled like cardboard and stale microwave dinners. It was quiet in a way that felt like someone had pressed mute on her life. The dog looked at her, eyes bright, like he could hear that silent ache. "Hi," Lucy said before she could stop herself. His whole body wiggled. "That's it," the volunteer said. "He's chosen you," Lucy laughed. "That's not how this works." "Pretty sure it is," the volunteer said. "Want to say hello?" Lucy glanced at her watch. 37 minutes. She absolutely did not have time for. The dog whined, leaning toward her, paw lifting in an awkward little wave. Her resolve melted faster than snow on a hot hood. "Okay, just for a minute," she murmured, stepping closer. She crouched down. Sonny immediately pressed his warm, solid body against her knees, like they'd known each other for years. His fur smelled faintly like shampoo and something earthy, like sunshine on dry grass. He licked her wrist once, gentle and exploratory, then rested his chin on her thigh and sighed. Lucy's throat tightened. "You're kidding me," she whispered. "You can't do that. That's cheating." The volunteer grinned. "He was surrendered last month. Family lost their house. He's good with people, dogs, cats, vacuum cleaners, probably tax forms. We don't know. He's unreasonably perfect." Sonny tilted his head as if to agree. Lucy scratched behind one velvety ear. "You sure about vacuum cleaners?" she asked. "That might be a deal breaker." He barked at one for 10 seconds, then tried to play with it, the volunteer said. "So yeah, he's brave. Or dumb. Maybe both." Brave and dumb and warm and suddenly, terribly important. Lucy felt something shifting inside her, plates sliding under the surface. She'd spent months telling herself she wasn't ready for anything new. No new relationships, no new commitments, nothing that could be taken away again. But this dog. "Does he have any issues?" she asked, because she was not impulsive. She was responsible. She was absolutely not about to adopt a dog in a parking lot next to the dish soap aisle. "House-trained, up to date on shots, neutered, loves car rides, hates cucumbers," the volunteer recited. "Needs regular exercise and someone who doesn't mind being worshipped." Sonny put his paw on her knee, claws light against denim. Lucy exhaled, a half laugh, half surrender. "What's the process?" she asked. 25 minutes later, she walked back to her car with a bag of dog food, a complimentary leash, a stack of paperwork, and 35 pounds of panting sunshine trotting beside her. Dish soap would have to wait. The next morning, Lucy learned 3 important things. 1. Sonny believed 5:45 a.m. was a reasonable time for breakfast. 2. Sonny did not understand the concept of working from home if it did not involve him sitting directly in her lap. 3. The shelter had mentioned very casually that he was due for a new patient wellness exam sometime this week, and then highlighted in bright yellow where the vet's information was written. "Maple Ridge Veterinary Clinic," Lucy read aloud, squinting at the fridge magnet she'd stuck to the freezer door. A chalk-drawn dog and cat smiled next to a phone number. "Okay, Sonny, let's get you an appointment before you eat my laptop." Sonny wagged his tail and nudged the magnet with his nose. She called, expecting to be told it would be 2 weeks. City practices in Atlanta had been booked solid. Instead, a warm voice said, "We actually had a cancellation this afternoon at 3. Can you make that?" Lucy hesitated, then glanced at her calendar. She could shove her last meeting earlier, send the spreadsheet. Hope no one noticed if she logged back in a little late. 3 works, she said. Lucy Harper, new patient. I just adopted a dog, Sunny. Perfect, the receptionist said. Dr. Ramona Diaz will see you then. Have you been to us before? No, I just moved to town. Welcome to Maple Ridge, the receptionist said, genuine affection in her voice. We'll see you at 3, Lucy. Sunny barked once, like he understood. Lucy rubbed his ears. Cool, buddy. We're meeting your doctor. If someone had told her that by 4 o'clock she'd be seriously considering adopting a human along with the dog, she would have laughed. She wasn't laughing at 4 o'clock. She was trying not to stare. The Maple Ridge Veterinary Clinic was tucked into a renovated house just off the main street. All white siding and teal window boxes overflowing with flowers. Inside, sunlight poured through big front windows onto pale wood floors and a soft gray rug. The air smelled like a mix of disinfectant and dog treats. Hi! The receptionist looked up from her computer with a practiced smile that quickly warmed into something less professional, more delighted. You must be Lucy, and this handsome guy is Sunny. Sunny, who had been unsure about the car ride until Lucy rolled down the window and let him stick his head out, now trotted inside with the confidence of a dog who assumed every building existed to worship him. That's us, Lucy said. Sunny's leash wrapped once around her wrist. She smoothed the nylon like that would make her less anxious. Go ahead and have a seat, the receptionist said. Dr. Diaz is just finishing with a patient. You can fill these out in the meantime. She slid a clipboard across the counter. Lucy took it and sat on one of the cushioned chairs. Sunny leaned against her legs, panting happily, gaze flicking to the door every time it opened. Lucy filled out address, phone number, email, emergency contact. She stared at the blank line for a long moment, then wrote Maple Ridge Shelter, and tried not to think too hard about it. She was scribbling Sunny is mostly a good boy, but steals socks under behavior notes, when the exam room door swung open. Mr. Pickles, you are a menace, and I say that with love, a voice drawled, amusement threading through each word. Lucy looked up. A woman stepped into the waiting area, holding a disgruntled orange tabby that looked seconds away from staging a coup. She wore soft blue scrubs that clung to toned arms and shoulders, and a stethoscope hung loose around her neck. Her hair, honey blonde like Lucy's, but pulled back into a messy ponytail, caught the sunlight and turned to streaks of gold. Laugh lines crinkled at the corners of her eyes as she murmured something to the cat's owner, handing over a carrier. Lucy registered several things at once, in quick succession. The vet was gorgeous. The vet was smiling at the cat owner like they were the only person in the room. No ring on her left hand. Lucy looked down at the clipboard like it was suddenly fascinating. Her cheeks felt warm. Lucy and Sunny, the vet asked. Lucy's head snapped up. The woman, Dr. Diaz, had turned toward them, smile widening. Up close, her eyes were a deep, warm brown, soft and curious. She carried herself with the relaxed confidence of someone who knew exactly what they were doing and didn't feel the need to prove it. Yes, Lucy said, pushing herself to her feet. That's us. I'm Lucy. He's Sunny, obviously, unless we've swapped identities, which we haven't. Fantastic. Flirting like a 17-year-old with a crush on her chemistry teacher. Dr. Diaz's smile turned amused, but not mocking. Good to know, she said. I try not to assume. Come on back. Sunny trotted beside her as if they were already best friends. Traitor. The exam room was small but bright, with cabinets in a cheerful teal that matched, the logo out front. A jar of treats sat next to a white ceramic model of a dog. There were framed photos on the wall of pets and people, goofy smiles and blurry tails. Any chance you're bribbable? Dr. Diaz asked Sunny, opening the treat jar. Sunny answered by sitting sharp and thrusting out his paw. Oh my God, Lucy muttered. You're making me look bad. On the contrary, Dr. Diaz said, giving Sunny a treat and a scratch under the chin. This tells me he has excellent taste in humans. Her gaze slid to Lucy, brief but pointed. Lucy's stomach did a little weightless drop. She laughed, high and thin, and pushed a strand of hair behind her ear. So, Dr. Diaz said, professional mode sliding in with practiced ease. Tell me about Sunny. How long have you had him? Since yesterday, Lucy confessed. There was an adoption event. I went to buy dish soap and came home with a dog. Common hazard, Dr. Diaz said solemnly. We really should warn people. She clicked a pen and pulled up a digital chart. Any background info from the shelter? Lucy relayed what she knew. Surrendered due to housing issues, about 2 years old, good with kids and other animals. As she spoke, Dr. Diaz listened with full attention, nodding occasionally, asking questions that made Lucy feel oddly competent, like she was already a good dog mom, even though she was mostly winging it. Let's give him a once-over, Dr. Diaz said. Sonny, my dude, up on the table. Sonny hesitated, then, with a boost from Lucy, hopped onto the padded exam table. He stood slightly uncertain, tail wagging in slow, tentative arcs. Good boy, Lucy said, hand on his shoulder. Dr. Diaz worked with practiced gentleness, listening to his heart, checking his ears, examining his teeth. She narrated as she went, explaining what she was looking for, what she liked to see. His heart sounds great, she said. No murmurs, ears are clean, teeth look good, but we'll want to keep an eye on Tartar. His weight is excellent. He's in great shape. Lucy let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. You were worried, Dr. Diaz observed softly. Is it that obvious? Lucy tried to joke. You're standing like you're ready to catch him if gravity stops working, Dr. Diaz said, mouth quirking. Her eyes were kind, though. It's normal. First few vet visits with a new pet can be nerve-wracking. Yeah, Lucy said. I just kind of feel like he's my responsibility now, and the shelter trusted me not to screw it up. That's because you showed up for him, Dr. Diaz said simply. That's half the job. Lucy swallowed, throat tight again. Dr. Diaz finished the exam, gave Sonny another treat, and stepped back. He's healthy, she said. We'll run a basic fecal test to be sure we're not hosting any uninvited intestinal guests. But everything looks great. Do you have any questions about food, training, routines, existential anxieties about whether you're a good enough dog mom? Lucy laughed. Is that a standard question? In this town, Ramona, Dr. Diaz shrugged. People love their animals. Lucy hesitated, then said, Actually, yeah, all of that. They ended up talking for 20 minutes. About food, what brands Lucy could afford that weren't garbage, how to transition gradually. About exercise, Sonny's leash manners, currently chaos, how often to walk him, whether the park by the river was safe at night. About crate training, positive reinforcement, puzzle toys that might keep him busy during Lucy's meetings. Dr. Diaz leaned against the counter, arms loosely crossed, listening as much as she spoke. She had a way of making every question feel valid, not like Lucy was failing some invisible test. And if you ever have a question at midnight, she added, you can call our after-hours number or the emergency clinic if it's serious. But sometimes you just need someone to tell you that the weird noise he made while dreaming is not, in fact, him dying. I can't afford to keep panic calling a vet, Lucy said, wincing. Dr. Diaz's smile tilted. Then email me, she said. Within reason, I can't diagnose without seeing him. But I can tell you when something's an emergency, and when you can wait till morning. We want you both to succeed, Lucy blinked. You give out your email? Only to people who adopt dogs spur of the moment and then care enough to ask good questions, Dr. Diaz said lightly. She scribbled on a card and handed it over. Also people who bring in baked goods, just so you know. Lucy took the card. Instead of the printed clinic email, a handwritten address, ardiazamapleridgevet.com, plus a cell number with text OK scrawled underneath. Thanks, she said, heart doing another weird flip. Welcome to the chaos, Dr. Diaz said. And Lucy? Yeah? You're doing fine. Their eyes met. It was one of those annoyingly cinematic moments when time seemed to slow, the hum of the air conditioner swelling louder than everything else. Then Sonny sneezed in Lucy's face. The spell shattered. Dr. Diaz laughed, bright and warm. Bless you, she told the dog. All right, we'll see you in a year for his next wellness visit, or sooner if anything comes up. And if you need a good trainer, there's a group class at the community center I recommend. I teach it sometimes. She pulled a flyer from a drawer and passed it over. Sunday Pause, Positive Training for Real Dogs and Humans, it read. Beneath the title was a photo of Dr. Diaz kneeling in a field surrounded by grinning dogs. Is there anything you don't do? Lucy blurted. Dr. Diaz pretended to think. Parallel parking, she said. I'm a menace. But don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to maintain. Lucy smiled, tucked the flyer into her bag, and tried to ignore the fact that she was genuinely disappointed the appointment was over. 2 days later, Sunny threw up on her rug. Lucy stared at the puddle of partially digested kibble and what she was pretty sure were the remains of a pen cap. "Dude," she said. "Why?" Sunny wagged his tail weakly, ears pinned. Her stomach clenched. Was he sick? Was this normal? Was she already failing at being a dog parent? She grabbed a roll of paper towels in one hand and her phone in the other, thumb hovering over the clinic's number. Then she remembered the card. Dr. Diaz had said texts were okay. She'd probably meant in case of mild concern, not wild anxiety spiral over one incident of dog vomit. But Lucy's brain was already halfway down the catastrophizing slide. She snapped a quick photo of the mess, immediately regretted looking too closely, cleaned it up, then typed, "Hi, this is Lucy with Sunny. He just threw up once, but now seems okay. Ate breakfast normally, no diarrhea. Should I panic or just keep an eye on him? Sorry to bother you." She stared at the message for 3 seconds, then hit send before she could chicken out. The reply came less than a minute later. If every dog who ate something dumb and puked once was in danger, this town would have no dogs left. Lucy let out a shaky laugh. More texts followed in quick succession. "How's his energy level? Any chance he got into trash? Table scraps. The secrets of the universe?" Also, "Hi, Lucy. You're not bothering me," she typed back, fingers flying. "Energy seems normal. He literally tried to chase the vacuum this morning. I did catch him chewing a pen earlier. I thought I got all of it away from him, but apparently not." There was a pause. Then, one-time vomit, plus pen cap snack, plus normal energy, factors monitor at home. If he vomits multiple times, can't hold down water, has blood in stool, or seems lethargic, call the clinic or ER. In the meantime, 8-12 HRs with no food. Then small amounts of bland diet, boiled chicken and rice. Water is okay in small amounts. You're doing fine, promise. Lucy read the last line twice. "Thanks," she wrote. "I'll keep an eye on him. Also, for the record, I did not sign up for bodily fluids when I adopted him." The shelter brochure was misleading. A laughing emoji then. The small print always gets you. You probably missed the line about "we'll steal your heart and also your socks." Too late, Lucy thought. Her heart felt as if someone had hooked a gentle hand around it and tugged it toward the warm glow of that clinic, that voice, that woman who texted calmly about dog vomit and made her feel less alone in a town where she barely knew anyone. She put down her phone, sat on the floor, and let Sunny flop half into her lap. "You're lucky you're cute," she muttered, scratching his chest. His tail thumped against her shin. "I'm saying this with love and friendship," Lucy's coworker Janelle said on their weekly video. "Check-in, but you've become a dog person." Lucy glanced at the corners of the screen where she'd taped up sticky notes that read, "Walk Sunny" and "Check water bowl." On the bookshelf behind her, a plush toy shaped like a slice of pizza sat next to her marketing textbooks. Sunny himself lay on the rug, snoring lightly with a paw twitching in some dream dog chase. "I was always a dog person," Lucy said. "I just didn't have a dog. That's like being gay before your first crush. It's an orientation, not a membership card." Janelle snorted. "Fair. Speaking of crushes, you've mentioned the vet in every conversation we've had this week." "I have not," Lucy protested. "I've simply mentioned that she is very competent and helpful and possibly clinically incapable of making bad jokes." "And also hot," Janelle said. Lucy's ears warmed. "And also that," she admitted. "So ask her out." Lucy shifted in her chair. "She's my dog's doctor. That's ethically suspicious." "Is it?" Janelle asked. "I mean, it's not like she's your cardiologist. Although from the way you talk about her, maybe she should be." "Haha. Do you get the vibe she's queer?" Janelle pressed. Lucy thought about the rainbow pin she'd noticed on Ramona's name tag. Small and unobtrusive, but definitely there. The easy way she'd said, "My ex-girlfriend's cat once ate an entire rubber band ball," when describing foreign body surgeries. The comfortable, unself-conscious way she seemed to inhabit her body, like she'd done the work of making peace with herself. "Yeah," Lucy said softly. "I get the vibe." "So," Janelle said, "worst case scenario, she says she doesn't date clients. You say, totally understand, and then find another vet if it feels weird. Right now, you're just pining with your dog as an emotional support viewing device. It's not that simple, Lucy argued. I just moved here. I'm still unpacking. I have trust issues. That's what therapy is for, Janelle said. And kissing cute vets while walking your dog by the river. Lucy rolled her eyes, but an image she absolutely did not need right now flickered in her mind. Ramona in a hoodie instead of scrubs, hair down instead of tied back, laughing as Sunny splashed at the water's edge. Her chest ached. It's too soon, she said, more to herself than to Janelle. I'm barely out of the breakup. Your breakup was 6 months ago, Janelle said gently. You're allowed to feel things again, Luce. The feelings won't send you a subpoena. Lucy sighed. I just don't want to mess anything up. Sunny loves her, and I don't know. She feels like part of this new version of my life that I'm trying to build. I don't want to risk it on a maybe. That's fair, Janelle said. Then maybe just let yourself enjoy the crush. See where it goes. You don't have to decide anything today. That I can do, Lucy said. She could have a harmless crush. No pressure, no expectations. She could definitely handle that. She lasted exactly 4 days. The Sunday Pause training class met in the grassy field behind the community center, which used to be a school before Maple Ridge built a newer one on the hill. When Lucy arrived, the lot was half full. A mix of dogs and humans clustered on the lawn, a lanky teenager with a pit bull, an older couple with matching schnauzers, a harried-looking dad with a beagle who sounded like it was auditioning for a horror movie. Ramona, blue clinic t-shirt instead of scrubs, jeans, hair in the same perky ponytail, stood near a portable whiteboard, a clicker in one hand and a treat pouch at her hip. Lucy's heart did that stupid flip-flop again. Okay, Ramona was saying as Lucy joined the group. Rule number 1. This is not obedience school. This is communication school. Your dog is not a furry robot you program. They're a living, feeling creature you're learning to talk to. Rule number 2. No prong collars, choke chains, or hitting. Ever. I will fight you, and I've been bitten by a Rottweiler and a parrot in the same day, so my tolerance for pain is high. Laughter rippled through the group. Rule number 3. We are here to set you up for success, not shame you, Ramona continued. If your dog is losing their mind, that's info, not failure. We'll adjust. Deal? There were nods, murmurs of agreement. Ramona's gaze swept the group and landed on Lucy. Hey, Sunny, she said, grin widening. Glad you made it. Lucy felt several curious glances swing her way. She lifted a hand, wiggling her fingers in an awkward wave. Hi, she said, smooth as ever. Sunny, at least, understood social situations. He wagged so hard his hindquarters wiggled. Okay, partners, Ramona said, clapping her hands. Find a spot with some space around you. We're going to start with the basics. Name recognition and paying attention. Yes, I'm talking about you two humans. The next hour was a blur of sit, down, yes, treat. Ramona moved among the pairs, giving tips, adjusting leash holds, offering encouragement. She had an uncanny knack for remembering everyone's names, both 2- and 4-legged. When she reached Lucy and Sunny, she crouched beside them, close enough that Lucy caught a whiff of something warm and clean, soap and sunshine and maybe a hint of coffee. How's my favorite impulsive adoption duo? Ramona asked. Lucy snorted. We're fine. He's learning. I'm trying not to overthink saying the word yes in public. Positive reinforcement works on humans too, Ramona said. She held out a hand to Sunny. Hey, buddy, can you show me your sit? Sunny, eager to please and full of kibble bribery, sat instantly. Nice. Ramona clicked and treated, then looked up at Lucy. You've been practicing. Lucy shrugged, embarrassed and weirdly proud. It's good for my anxiety, she admitted. Gives my brain something to focus on besides work and whether I forgot to pay the electric bill. You'd be surprised how many people say that, Ramona said softly. Dogs give us a reason to get out of our heads. They looked at each other for a beat too long. The noise of other dogs and humans swelled around them, the world narrowing to the warm, intent gaze in front of her. Lucy's mouth went dry. She said brilliantly. Yeah. Ramona's lips curved, like she could see every embarrassing thought in Lucy's head and didn't mind. You're doing great, she said again, then moved on to help the man with the screeching beagle, leaving Lucy's pulse racing. The class ended with a short Q&A. People dispersed in ones and twos, dogs sniffing each other enthusiastically. The sun hung low, turning the edges of everything golden. Lucy lingered, shoving the clicker into her pocket, not quite ready to go home. "You survived," Ramona said, appearing at her elbow. Lucy jumped. I did. So did Sunny. I'd rate the experience less terrifying than high school gym, more chaotic than my last marketing presentation. "I'll take that as a compliment," Ramona said, laughing. Sunny had flopped in the grass, panting. Ramona knelt to rub his ears. Lucy's gaze traced the lines of her shoulders, the strength in her hands, the way the light caught in loose strands of hair escaping her ponytail. "Stop staring," she told herself. "People notice when you look at them like they're the last donut in the break room." "You settling into town okay?" Ramona asked, glancing up. Lucy shifted her weight. "Yeah, mostly. It's different. Slower." "Slower can be good," Ramona said, "once your nervous system stops expecting sirens and traffic at all hours." "You lived in a city?" Lucy asked. "Chicago," Ramona said. "Vet school there. I did emergency medicine for 3 years. Thought I'd stay forever, then I burned out so hard I mistook a mop for a dog at 3 in the morning and decided maybe it was time to reassess my life choices." Lucy smiled. "So you moved here." "My aunt owns the clinic," Ramona said. "She wanted to retire and didn't want to sell to a chain. So here I am, practicing small-town vet medicine and teaching dogs to sit instead of pulling broken bones out of late-night traffic." "Do you miss it?" Lucy asked. Ramona considered. "Sometimes," she said. "I miss the adrenaline, the rush of saving a life no one thought could be saved. But I don't miss calling people at 2 a.m. to tell them their best friend didn't make it. Here, we still have emergencies, but I get to see dogs grow up, cats mellow out, people—" Her gaze slid back to Lucy. "People build new lives." Something in Lucy's chest stuttered. "I'm still working on that part," she said, quietly. "You're already doing it," Ramona said. "You adopted Sunny. You came to class. That's more than a lot of people manage in 6 months." "It's been about 6 months since my last breakup," Lucy said, before she could stop herself. Ramona's eyebrows rose. "Ah," she said softly. "That kind of new life." Lucy flushed. "Sorry, that was oversharing." "Not at all," Ramona said. "I asked. And small towns run on oversharing. It's practically a civic duty. Did your ex break your heart? Or did life just sucker punch you both?" "A little of both," Lucy said. "We wanted different things. She wanted to stay in the city. I wanted space. Then my grandmother left me her house and we had this massive fight about how I was running away." She air-quoted the words. "We said some things you can't really unsay." Ramona's expression turned sympathetic. "I'm sorry," Lucy shrugged, trying to play it off. "It's fine. I mean, it sucked. But it also led me here, I guess. To Sunny. To maple syrup-scented streets, and the only grocery store where everyone knows my weekly yogurt preference. And to questionable life decisions in parking lots," Ramona added. Lucy laughed. "Exactly." A comfortable silence settled. Sunny rolled onto his back, paws in the air, asking for belly rubs. Ramona obliged, fingers sinking into his soft fur. "Hey, Lucy," she said after a moment. "Yeah?" "Feel free to tell me to shut up if this is weird," Ramona said. "But some of us from the clinic usually grab tacos at El Torito's on Thursday nights. It's kind of an unofficial dog person support group. You're welcome to join. No pressure." Lucy's heart did the thing again, a leap and a clench. "Is it humans only, or can Sunny come?" she asked, grasping for something casual to say. "Patio's dog-friendly," Ramona said. "So both, if you want." "Are you inviting all your clients?" Lucy blurted. Ramona's lips quirked. "Just the ones who text me photos of individual puddles of vomit," she said. "And yes, I know that's practically everyone, but I'm starting with you." "Oh," Lucy swallowed. "Then, yeah, I'd like that." "Cool," Ramona said, smiling. 7 p.m., I'll save you a seat." Lucy walked back to her car with Sunny trotting at her side, heart pounding. The air smelled like cut grass and grill smoke and the faint sweetness of blooming clover. Kids' laughter floated from the playground. She looked down at Sunny. "Did we just get asked out, or are we going to a group hang?" Sunny blinked up at her, tongue lolling. "Yeah," she muttered. "That's what I thought." El Torito's was the kind of place where the menus were laminated, the margaritas were strong enough to rearrange your week, and the servers knew half the customers by name. The Thursday evening crowd filled the patio with a low buzz of conversation and clinking. Glasses, Edison bulbs hung from a pergola overhead, casting everything in warm gold. Lucy arrived 10 minutes early because she did not know how to be a normal person anymore. She smoothed her casual button down for the 5th time and checked the knot of Sonny's bandana, navy with little white bones, his fancy one. Okay, she told him as they waited in the entryway. Ground rules, no jumping on people, no begging, and you're only allowed to embarrass me a little. Sonny wagged his tail, likely agreeing to nothing. Lucy! Ramona's voice cut through the patio noise. Lucy turned. Ramona waved from a table near the far corner, already half-filled. She wore a soft gray t-shirt with the clinic logo and a denim jacket, hair down for once, falling in loose waves around her shoulders. Lucy nearly tripped over her own feet. Hey, Ramona said as they reached the table. You made it. Yeah, I had to bribe him with the promise of tortilla chips, Lucy said. I assume that's allowed for humans, not dogs. Correct, Ramona said. We have some standards. She gestured around the table. This is my chaos crew. That's Erin, our receptionist, and her wife, Priya. That's Nate, vet tech extraordinaire. And that's Helena, who runs the rescue and fosters half the town's stray population on any given day. There were waves and smiles all around. Sonny immediately made friends with Helena, who smelled like at least 5 different animals. Everyone, this is Lucy and Sonny, Ramona continued. They're new to town and therefore our responsibility now. Welcome to Maple Ridge, Erin said, raising her margarita. We do not have a target, but we do have 3 separate events where people dress their dogs in costumes, so I think we're winning. I heard about the Halloween parade, Lucy said. Sonny will go as dog in a bandana. Dream big, Nate said solemnly. I believe in you. The conversation unfolded easily, helped along by chips, salsa, and the shared language of people who loved animals. They swapped stories. Helena's latest foster fail, a one-eyed chihuahua who hated men but adored teen girls. Nate's most dramatic cat-scratching incident. Erin's tale of the time someone tried to sneak a baby goat into a dogs-only vaccine clinic in a diaper. Lucy laughed more than she had in months. The knot between her shoulder blades loosened. Every so often, her gaze drifted to Ramona. Ramona listened more than she spoke, but when she did talk, it was with a quiet intensity. She had strong opinions on preventative care, adoption ethics, and the superiority of corn tortillas over flour. When Helena mentioned a spay-neuter fundraiser, Ramona's eyes lit up, hands describing ideas in the air, a bake sale, a photo booth, maybe a Paws and Pride event next summer with rainbow bandanas. You're not even from here, and you're more invested in this town than half the people who grew up here, Helena teased. Ramona shrugged, but her cheeks pinked slightly. I wasn't sure I'd stay when I first came, she admitted. But the longer I'm here, the more it feels like, I don't know, like I can actually build something instead of just patching holes. Lucy felt that in her bones. As the evening wore on, people gradually peeled off. Helena left to check on a nursing mama cat. Nate yawned and declared he had a 6 a.m. surgery. Erin and Priya hugged Ramona, hugged Lucy like they'd known her for years, and vanished into the night. Suddenly it was just Lucy and Ramona at the table, the remnants of chips between them, Sonny asleep at their feet. The patio had thinned out. Crickets chirped beyond the fence. The world felt soft around the edges. Thanks for inviting me, Lucy said quietly. I needed this. I'm glad you came, Ramona said. Her eyes were softer now, the lines of her face relaxed. I know what it's like, moving somewhere new and feeling like everyone's already in the middle of the story. Exactly, Lucy said. Like you missed all the exposition, Ramona smiled. The good news is, you get to write new chapters. Lucy toyed with a chip crumb. Can I ask you something? Of course. Is this weird? Lucy gestured vaguely between them. Us hanging out, with you being my vet and all. Ramona's gaze held hers. Do you think it's weird? She asked gently. I think I'm overthinking it, Lucy said. Which is my superpower. Ramona laughed once, then sobered. Okay, she said. Honest answer? Please. I make a point not to date clients, Ramona said. Lucy's stomach dropped. partly because of power dynamics, partly because if things go sideways, I don't want their animals caught in the fallout. They didn't sign up for that. Makes sense, Lucy thought, her heart sinking. But, Ramona continued, I also make a point to build community, to know the people who trust me with their animals, to have friends in town who aren't just coworkers or the lady at the post office who calls everyone honey. So inviting you to tacos is not weird. It's normal for me. Lucy swallowed. Okay. And, Ramona added, eyes searching Lucy's face, if, at any point, this starts feeling like more than friendship for either of us, we can talk about it like adults and figure out what keeps everyone safest and most comfortable, including Sunny, who currently thinks I exist solely to provide treats. Lucy's breath caught. That's a very reasonable policy, she said, trying to tamp down the bubble of hope rising in her chest. Do you get a lot of clients asking you out? Occasionally, Ramona said. I usually deflect. I'm flattered, but I don't date clients. Most people understand. The ones who get weird about it, well, the clinic schedule mysteriously books them with another doctor. Lucy nodded slowly. Got it. Ramona watched her for a moment, then said very quietly, Is this your way of asking if you've been flirting with me and I've missed it? Heat flooded Lucy's face. No, I mean yes? I don't know. Maybe. Have I? Ramona's lips curved. A little, she said. It's been cute. Lucy buried her face in her hands. I regret everything. Hey, Ramona said, her voice soft. I'm flattered, for the record. Lucy peeked through her fingers. Ramona's expression was open, warm, not mocking at all. And, Ramona added, if circumstances were different, I would absolutely have already asked you out. But they're not. So for now, I'm enjoying getting to know you, as someone who adopted an excellent dog and makes very good jokes under pressure. Lucy let her hands drop. So we're friends? Friends, Ramona said firmly, with the option to revisit the conversation in the future, if paths diverge and clinics change and we both still want to. Life is long. There was something oddly comforting in that, not a door slammed shut, but one left slightly ajar, with a do not rush sign hanging from the knob. Okay, Lucy said. Friends? Ramona smiled, and it did something to Lucy's insides that was definitely not friendly, but she could live with that. People had survived worse. They paid the bill, leashed up Sunny, and walked to their cars. The parking lot lights cast halos on the asphalt. Drive safe, Ramona said at Lucy's door. You too, Lucy replied. Try not to run over any mops. Ramona laughed, the sound bright in the cool night air. Only if they dart out in front of me. She hesitated, then reached out and squeezed Lucy's arm once, brief and warm. I'm glad you're here, Lucy, she said. Then she turned and walked to her own car, ponytail swinging. Lucy sat behind the wheel for a long moment before starting the engine. Sunny sighed from the back seat, content. Yeah, she said softly. Me too. The thing about deciding to be just friends with someone you were wildly attracted to, Lucy discovered, was that it did not magically turn off the attraction. It just added a layer of self-consciousness on top of it, like frosting on an already precarious cake. Weeks slipped by, measured in walks along the river, training classes, and small-town rituals. Lucy learned the rhythm of Maple Ridge, farmers' market Saturdays, trivia nights at the bar on Wednesdays, the way the town collectively lost its mind when the high school football team made it to regionals. She also learned Ramona's rhythms. They texted more, sometimes about Sunny. Is it normal for him to bark at his reflection? Yes, he has discovered his own handsomeness. Sometimes about random things. What's your hot take on pineapple on pizza? Great in theory, terrible in execution. They bumped into each other at the grocery store, at the coffee shop, at the park. Lucy started to recognize Ramona's Jeep around town, its back window cluttered with rescue stickers. At some point, Lucy realized she'd stopped counting the months since her breakup. Life wasn't magically perfect. She still had anxious mornings where her chest felt tight for no obvious reason. She still missed her old friends, her favorite falafel stand, the anonymous din of the city. But she also had neighbors who waved when she walked Sunny, coworkers who sent memes, and a vet who felt like a fixed point in this new orbit. Then Sunny got hurt. and everything that had been theoretical about trust and friendship and boundaries became painfully, vividly real. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Lucy was working at the dining table, headset on, when she heard the yelp. Not the startled little bark Sunny sometimes gave at squirrels. This was a sharp, high, panicked sound that cut straight through bone. Lucy's chair scraped back. "Sorry, emergency, I'll ping you all later," she blurted into the mic, hanging up before her boss could respond. She sprinted to the backyard. Sunny stood three-legged near the back fence, holding his front left paw off the ground. He panted, ears flat, eyes round with pain and confusion. Blood speckled the grass beneath him. "Sunny," Lucy breathed, heart in her throat. She crossed the yard in 3 strides, dropping to her knees. The paw was cut, a jagged slice along the pad. A piece of broken glass glinted in the grass nearby, catching the sun. "Shit," Lucy whispered. "Shit, shit, shit." It must have been from the old bottle she'd knocked off the fence last week while chasing a spider. She thought she'd gotten all the pieces. Apparently not. Guilt crashed over her, hot and choking. "Okay, it's okay, buddy," she murmured, voice shaking. "I've got you, we've got you." She wrapped her arms around Sunny, who leaned into her, trembling. Blood smeared on her jeans. Her hands moved on autopilot. Grab a towel, press gently to the paw. Leash him, more for her peace of mind than his. Get keys, wallet, phone. Call the clinic while shoving her feet into sneakers. The receptionist picked up on the first ring. "Maple Ridge Veterinary, this is Erin." "It's Lucy," she said, breathless. Sunny cut his paw. "There's blood. I think it's pretty bad. Okay, breathe," Erin said calmly. "Where are you?" "In my backyard," Lucy said, voice hitching. "I'm heading to the car now. Ramona's here. We'll be ready for you. Drive safe, okay?" Lucy swallowed hard. "Okay." The drive to the clinic was a blur of red lights and whispered reassurances. Sunny sat in the back seat, paw wrapped in the towel, head hanging. "Almost there," Lucy kept saying, like she could will time to move faster. When she pulled into the clinic lot, Ramona was already at the door in blue scrubs and a focused expression. She opened the back door of Lucy's car before Lucy had fully parked. "Hey, Sunny," she said softly. "Heard you had a rough afternoon, bud." Lucy tried to explain, words tumbling. "There was glass. I thought I cleaned it up. I didn't see—" "Lucy." Ramona's voice cut gently through the spiral. "We'll talk in a minute. Right now, let's get him inside." Between them, they guided Sunny into the treatment area. The clinic smelled sharper here, more antiseptic. Stainless steel gleamed under bright lights. "Okay, big guy," Ramona murmured as she lifted Sunny onto a padded table with Nate's help. "Let's take a look." Lucy hovered nearby, hands shaking. She wanted to touch Sunny, to comfort him, but she also didn't want to get in the way. Her chest felt too small for her lungs. Ramona examined the paw carefully. "Deep cut," she announced. "He'll need stitches. We'll sedate him a little. It'll be less traumatic for everyone. Vitals are good. No other injuries." "Is he—" Lucy's voice cracked. "Is he going to be okay?" Ramona looked up, eyes steady. "Yes," she said firmly. "I've stitched up worse. He'll be fine. He'll just milk this for sympathy for a few days." Lucy's knees threatened to give out. "Do you want to stay back here or wait in the exam room?" Ramona asked gently. "Some people like to be present. Some prefer not to see the procedure." Lucy swallowed hard, staring at Sunny's trusting eyes, his wagging tail even now. "I'll stay," she said. He's my responsibility." Ramona nodded, something like respect flickering in her gaze. "Okay, grab a stool. Nate, can you prep the sedation?" The next half hour was a masterclass in controlled urgency. Ramona moved with the calm efficiency Lucy had only glimpsed before, voice low and reassuring as she inserted an IV catheter, administered a sedative, cleaned the wound. Sunny grew drowsy, head lolling. Lucy stroked his ears, murmuring nonsense, tears pricking her eyes. "You're okay," she whispered. "You're so brave. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Once Sunny was under, Ramona numbed the paw and began stitching. Her hands were steady, precise. "You didn't fail him, you know," she said quietly, without looking up. Lucy blinked. "What?" "You're spiraling," Ramona said, eyebrow quirking just slightly. "I can hear it from here. I should have checked the yard better. I should have been watching him. I'm a terrible dog mom." Lucy flushed. Have you been spying on my internal monologue? It's not exactly original material, Ramona said dryly. I hear versions of it daily. Here's the truth. Accidents happen. You cleaned up the glass. A tiny shard hid. He stepped on it. You brought him in immediately. That's good care. That's what matters. I hurt him, Lucy whispered. You also saved him from developing an infection, Ramona countered. Both those things can be true. You're human. He doesn't expect perfection. He expects food, walks, and someone to cuddle him when he has a cone on his head. Lucy snorted wetly. He's getting a cone? Oh yeah, Ramona said. He's going to hate me for a week. You get to be the good parent. What if he hates me for letting you do this? Lucy asked, half joking. Ramona glanced up, eyes meeting hers. Then I'll give him extra treats and explain that sometimes love looks like getting stitches, she said. It's not as catchy as love means never having to say you're sorry, but it's more accurate. Lucy huffed a laugh, surprised by the bubble of relief. Thank you, she said softly. For doing my job, Ramona replied, tying off another neat stitch. Lucy gestured vaguely at the air. All of this, the pep talks, the tacos, the being here when things go wrong. Ramona's mouth softened. You're welcome, she said. For the record, it goes both ways. What do you mean? Ramona hesitated, then said, I moved here to slow down, to recover from some stuff. It was a good decision, but it got lonely. I love my coworkers, but there's a difference between person you talk to about inventory and person you text memes to at midnight. Meeting you has been nice. For me, too. Warmth spread through Lucy's chest, mingling with the fear and guilt and adrenaline. You could text me memes at midnight, she said, as long as they're not about dog injuries. No promises, Ramona said. By the time Sonny's paw was stitched, bandaged, and wrapped in a neon blue covering that made him look like he was wearing a tiny cast, Lucy's hands had stopped shaking. He came out of sedation slowly, groggy and confused. Ramona guided him off the table, letting him lean against her leg. There you go, she murmured. World's bravest boy. 10 out of 10 would anesthetize again. Please don't, Lucy said weakly. Ramona smiled. Take him home, keep him quiet as possible. Leash walks only for a week. Cone of shame whenever you can't directly supervise him. Text me if anything looks weird, swelling, oozing, foul smell. Lucy nodded, absorbing the instructions. At the front desk, Erin handed over a bag with pain meds and extra bandage material. You're in good hands, she said, and pause. Lucy's bill was already printed. She swallowed at the total, then slid her credit card across without hesitating. Sonny was worth it. She could skip takeout and make more rice and beans for a month. Hey, Ramona said as Lucy slipped the receipt into her wallet. Can you hang back a sec? Lucy blinked. Sure. They stepped outside into the late afternoon light. The air was cool, carrying a hint of rain. I know that was a lot, Ramona said. How are you? Doing? Lucy looked down at her hands, stained faintly with washed-off blood. I feel like I aged 10 years, she said, but I'll survive. Ramona's expression softened. The first big scare is always the worst, she said. It gets not easier exactly, but you build proof that you can handle it. You did everything right today. I panicked, Lucy said. You panicked in the car, not on the phone, Ramona pointed out. Progress. Lucy huffed a laugh. Ramona hesitated, then reached into her scrub pocket and pulled out a slip of paper. I know we're just friends, she said, air quoting, but I also know what it's like when something like this hits every trauma button. So, if you ever want to talk to someone who's not your vet and not your dog, this is my therapist's info. She does telehealth, and she's queer-friendly and trauma-informed. Lucy took the paper, throat tight. You don't have to. I know, Ramona said. But someone did this for me once. It helped. You don't have to call her. Just maybe keep it on your fridge, next to my magnet. Lucy blinked back sudden tears. Thank you, she said, voice thick. Really? Ramona smiled. That same steady, grounding smile she'd worn in the exam room. You're welcome, she said. Now go home and baby your dog. Doctor's orders. Lucy managed a wobbly grin. Yes, ma'am. Ramona groaned. Don't ma'am me, I'm only 32. Fine, Lucy said. Yes, boss. That's worse, Ramona laughed. Lucy drove home with Sunny snoring in the back. Cone already skewed at a ridiculous angle. The house felt different when they stepped inside. Not just a place she'd fled to, but a place where someone had reached into her fear and handed her a thread back to solid ground. She taped Ramona's therapist's number on the fridge next to the clinic magnet and the Sunday pause flyer. For the first time since moving, her kitchen door looked less like an exit and more like a doorway into a life. 3 months later, Lucy sat on that same kitchen floor with Sunny's head in her lap, scrolling through her emails. Her therapist, Dr. Morgan Price, who indeed did telehealth and indeed was excellent, had just confirmed their next appointment time. Lucy had been seeing her for 2 months now, unpacking old patterns and grief and the way she kept trying to earn love by being perfect. It's weird, Lucy mused aloud to Sunny. I moved here to run away from everything, and somehow ended up actually dealing with stuff. That's not how escaping is supposed to work, Sunny snored softly. Her phone buzzed. A text from Ramona. Emergency consult. My fridge contains only ketchup and a lonely lime. Am I morally obligated to go grocery shopping, or can I live on takeout forever? Lucy smiled. Her heart still did the little leap whenever Ramona's name lit her screen, but it no longer felt like free fall, more like cresting a small, manageable hill on a roller coaster. You're a healthcare professional, she typed back. You have to model responsible behavior. Go buy a vegetable, Ramona replied with a crying emoji. Then, come with. I'll buy you ice cream as a thank you for enabling my maturity. Lucy glanced at the clock. She'd finished her work early. She had no plans besides Netflix and not thinking about the vacuuming. Sure, she wrote. Give me 20. Sunny and I are currently one entity. Perfect, came the reply. See you at Dairy Barn. I'll bring the dog hair lint roller. The end.